Okay, it's a good question. I'm going to take a robotics angle to this, so I'm going to think about generative AI, positive and negative, with respect to the way that the robot market works. So in robotics, generative AI could have a massive impact where we have to interact with people. It's a really difficult thing for robots to explain, to interact with people in a natural environment. So we don't want robots just with blinking lights or, you know, with a screen full of information if it's going to have to work with people who don't understand what those lights mean, but they do know how to interact with the robot. So generative AI is going to have a big impact on that interaction. And in addition, it's all around the way that robots actually work in an environment. So it's going to impact in applications where robots are working with people extensively. So that might be in a supermarket, it might be in a shopping mall, but it also might be in a factory, or it might be in a farm. So robots, we're seeing more and more coming into these sorts of areas, and generative AI is going to improve the interface that people have. It's going to improve the human-robot interaction. Now, that human-robot interaction isn't just about the communication about tasks, it's sometimes physical. So, for example, a robot might be handing tools to somebody who's standing on the top of a ladder repairing something. And the interaction then becomes not just about the speech or whatever however they communicate, it's also about the physical side of social interaction. So when I hand a screwdriver to somebody, I do so in a particular way because I know that that's the tool they need next. So again, generative AI can have some impact in those sorts of areas. The negative side is going to depend very much on whether we can make generative AI trustworthy in a physical world. At the moment, it hallucinates, it's not particularly trustworthy. And obviously, what you want to make sure of is that if you're going to use, whether it's AI or generative AI, in new forms of AI, that they are going to be reliable, dependable, and trustable in doing the task, because robots very often are working in areas which are not safe or potentially could become unsafe. So autonomous vehicles driving down the road has a great potential to do things that are very unsafe. If it's working in an industrial environment, again, it's very important that it meets safety criteria. And if generative AI can't meet those safety criteria, you can't certify the robot. So there is no place for generative AI where there is a lack of, where there's a need for safety and the generative AI can't provide that. So these are the sort of balances that we're going to see, I think, between those application areas for robotics which need AI but have a safety criteria as well, or a mission critical in some way, and those areas of interaction where actually it's just about interacting with people and the safety element is not there. That really is the balance between where generative AI is going to have a positive or a negative impact in robotics.